Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session, and calls number 333-752. Case is filed with State of Texas versus Ashton Jameson. Mr. Jameson, would you please come forward? Okay, Mr. Jameson, you're represented in your case by your attorney Langston Adams, who's appearing via Zoom. Mr. Adams? Mr. Adams, take your mic off of mute.
Hey, Judge, were y'all trying to get me?
Yes,
Hello?
this is cause number 333-752, case is filed in the State of Texas versus Ashton Jameson. Mr. Jameson is appearing in court. His attorney is Mr. Langston Adams, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Adams, I have a motion to dismiss before me that was filed by the District Attorney's Office. Assistant District Attorney Lamar Johnson filed this motion. Mr. Johnson, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Adams, the court is signing this dismissal.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
And Mr. Jameson, your case is being dismissed.
Yes, sir.
If you need a copy of this dismissal, just have a seat and we'll make a copy for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, just have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're free to go, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome.
That's
That's fine. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number 329841, case of style of state of Texas versus Sean Patrick Melitzer Sr. Mr. Melitzer, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Melitzer, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Melitzer, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Melitzer?
Good, sir. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Melitzer, you're represented in your case by attorney Artie Donald. Attorney Donald, how are you doing?
Pretty well, sir.
Mr. Donald, do you waive a record in Mr. Melitzer's case?
Yes, sir.
State is represented in this case by attorney Lamar Johnson. Attorney Johnson, how are you doing?
I'm blessed, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Melitzer, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that on or about April 28 of 2021, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information further alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, that you, Sean Patrick Melitzer Sr., on September 18 of 2017, in the County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, in cause number 313584, that you was convicted of the misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, and that conviction became final prior to the commission of this offense. Is that true or not true?
True.
Now, to the charge of driving while, the Class A misdemeanor charge of driving while intoxicated, second, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Sir.
Mr. Melitzer, I also have before me a document that is titled a misdemeanor plea admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Melitzer, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Melitzer, there is a set of initials, LPM, that are on the line next to boxes checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir. It's SPM.
And on the next page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
The next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain agreement and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Melitzer, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line
Yes,
that is
sir.
titled defendant? Now, Mr. Melitzer, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Donald, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Melitzer, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit, which is in the court's file. State, would you like to offer states exhibits 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states 1 and states 2.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objections. States exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Donald, you have advised and counseled Mr. Melissa. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Melissa, your attorney, Mr. Donald, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Melissa, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do you have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 30 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the defendant be given credit for any and all time to which he's due by law, Your Honor. And the defendant has agreed to surrender himself today on or before 6 p.m.
Okay.
At or before 6 p.m.
Now, did we ever find out what the that deal was in the court costs?
There was, I think it probably has something to do with the previous offer, Your Honor, but
Okay.
we're not putting up a fine on this one, Your Honor.
Okay. So that's not ordered a super fine that I think may be required in a DWI second.
Should have to see, I've heard of them.
Right.
I've never, I think DPS Activate does that on their own, but I've never seen them. I've never
Yeah, it used to be, well, it used to be a surcharge and now they call it a super fine. Yeah,
If we could hold on this, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm not really.
okay, hold on a minute. Okay, we'll be in recess.